This is it. The end of the road. The final scream into the void. And you're all still here, aren't you? Reading, wondering what comes next, like you've been doing this whole time. You followed every word, every twist, every fucking dark corner of my life like you were watching some horror show unfold in real time. But guess what? You wanted a grand finale? Well, here it is. Let me lay it out for you, because I'm not pulling any punches now. This is the truth, the raw, unfiltered end. It's all over. Or maybe it's just beginning. It happened last night. Or was it the night before? Hell, it could have been a month ago, for all I know. Time is meaningless now. Every second in this house bleeds into the next, like ink spreading across a page, blotting out any sense of reality. But I remember what happened. I remember every fucking detail. The night started like all the others, cold, silent, and oppressive. The weight of her presence came crashing down on me. And what of the boy, you ask? Well, he was doing the usual. Just sitting in that same spot in the corner of the living room, staring at the wall like a puppet with its strings cut. As for what I was doing when shit started, nothing too adventurous. I was just on the couch, staring at nothing, just waiting for the next horrible thing to happen. I knew it was coming. I could feel it. But this time, something was different. The house was alive. So alive, in fact, that I could hear it breathing. Every creak of the floorboards, every groan of the walls. It wasn't just the house settling, it was her. She was in every fucking atom of this place, and she was making her move. I don't know what made me do it. Maybe it was the fear. Maybe it was desperation. Maybe I'd finally lost my mind. But I stood up, walked over to the boy, and grabbed him by the shoulders. Barely holding my voice together, I exclaimed that we are ending this shit right fucking now. The boy didn't respond. He just blinked, his soulless black eyes reflecting the dim light from the street outside. He looked through me like I was nothing, like I didn't exist. But I didn't care. I wasn't doing this for him anymore. I was doing it for me. I was going to take her down or die trying. I grabbed a flashlight, the only weapon I had, and marched to the basement door. The boy followed me without a word. I don't even remember him getting up. He was just there like a shadow at my back. We descended into the basement together, the darkness swallowing us whole. The basement, where it all started, where she first made herself known. I don't know what I was expecting when we got down there, but I knew it would be bad. The air was thick, heavy with the stench of rot and decay. My breath fogged in front of me as I scanned the room, searching for her, for any sign that she was there. But it wasn't her I saw first. It was Richard, the poor bastard. He was sitting in the corner, just like before, his twisted, broken body slumped against the wall, his eyes wide open and dead. But this time, he moved. His head snapped toward me, his lifeless eyes locking onto mine, and for a moment, I thought I was going to collapse right there. But I didn't. I couldn't. Richard then croaked the words, "She's coming." I felt the cold ripple down my spine, and I knew he was right. She was coming. She was already here. I turned around, and there she was. No longer just a shadow, no longer just a whisper in the dark. She stood before me, her form towering, her face twisted and grotesque, her black eyes filled with hatred. Her skin was stretched tight over her bones, her mouth pulled into that same horrific grin that haunted my every waking moment. And when she spoke, her voice was like nails scraping across my brain. With a hiss, she questioned if I thought I could fight or escape her. I didn't respond. What was there to say? She was right. I had thought I could fight her. I'd been wrong. She went on to say that I was hers and will always be hers as she stepped closer with her eyes boring into mine. My hand tightened around the flashlight, my last pathetic defense, but I knew it was useless. There was no fighting her. There never had been. And then, without warning, the boy stepped forward. He walked past me, his black eyes locked on hers, and for the first time since this nightmare began, I saw fear in her expression. She growled, and with her voice shaking, she rejected the boy's advance. But the boy kept walking, his small, pale figure moving toward her like he wasn't afraid of her at all, like he'd been waiting for this moment. Shocked, confused, and still very afraid, I yelled at the boy to stop and explain what he was doing, but the boy didn't answer. He just kept walking. And then he touched her. It was like the world exploded. The second his hand made contact with her, the basement was filled with this blinding light. So bright, I had to shield my eyes. The air vibrated with this intense, bone-rattling sound, like 1,000 voices screaming all at once. I felt my body being torn apart, piece by piece, every cell screaming in agony. And through it all, I could hear her shrieking, her voice echoing through the walls, through my skull, like she was being ripped from reality itself. I don't know how long it lasted. It could have been seconds. It could have been hours. But when the light finally faded, I collapsed to the floor, gasping for air. The boy was gone. And so was she. I should have felt relieved. I should have felt like I'd finally won. But I didn't. Because I knew. I knew it wasn't over. She was still here. Not in the house. Not in the walls. But in me. I could feel her, crawling inside my head, her whispers slithering through my thoughts, infecting every part of me. She wasn't gone. She was never gone. She was just waiting, watching. And now that the boy was gone, she had me all to herself. And here's the kicker. The part that's going to fuck you up real good. Do you want to know why I've been posting all of this? Why I've been spilling my guts to all of you over and over again like some kind of sick confessional? It's because she wanted me to. Yeah, that's right. Every single word I've typed, every post I've made. Well, it wasn't me, it was her. She's been using me, using this to spread herself, to infect you. You're all part of it now. You've been reading, following along, getting closer and closer to the truth, and now you're trapped. Just like me. Every click, every like, every comment, you've let her in. And now she's with you, watching, waiting. I can feel her laughing inside my head as I type this. She's won. She's always been one step ahead of me, and now she's one step ahead of you. So congratulations. You're part of the story now. You're part of her. Don't bother trying to delete this. Don't bother trying to forget. It won't work. She's already in your mind, just like she's in mine. And soon, you'll hear the whispers too. You'll feel the cold creeping in. You'll see her in the shadows, waiting for you to slip, waiting for you to give in. And when you do, when you finally give up, she'll take you too. Just like she took me. For more chilling stories, like and subscribe.